Hi, I am so sorry that the lighting here is not great. So I am going to try and lighten up a little bit. There you go. Might be a little bit better. But anyway, welcome to a live a live YouTube stream. This is going to be completely weird. And if you can hear me, if you can't hear me, sorry. But anyway, welcome to Let's Talk Musicals. Now, obviously, Let's Talk Musicals, we do reviews, we do things like musicals and things like that, and just a lot of bundles, loads of fun, and talk about musicals and stage shows, films, musical wise. And I have got an Instagram account. If you haven't followed the Instagram account, it's Let's Talk Musicals, and we do like a lot of live streams there. But this time around, we're doing live streams off YouTube, which is really weird. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you, we are here to do a live Christmas review on a couple of things that I thought about making in a weird way because I thought about I might do this. So I've got a list of like shows I've seen. Got a list of I've got some bits of pantos. Talk about some pantomimes, and also talk about Christmas films. Really good Christmas films, etc. I've done this already on my Instagram account, so I already know what I'm talking about. But if you want to make any comments or put something on online down here, please do, and I'll try and get to reply as soon as possible. But yeah, just thought about doing this on here and see whereabouts I can get off from this and where I can get through. So, starting off with live musicals I've seen, Christmas room musicals. That's the episodes anyway. Anyway, so the last sort of like least musical, which I didn't think I enjoyed much, and the reason why I didn't enjoy much is because I was too young to watch it, and that was White Christmas on Live on Stage. White Christmas is about a group of four people that end up going on holiday to this cavern, whatever it is, and they end up starting White Christmas at the very end. That's all I know about it. That's all I remember. And there's massive snow. And there's a kid, and there's like the owners, and there's people running around becoming performers. So that's the only thing I remember. So that's why it's the last, because I just don't think I remember it because I was too young to watch it at that time. Second to last is Scrooge. Now we have two versions of the Christmas Carol. We have Scrooge and A Christmas Carol musicals, and the one I'm talking about is Scrooge. And Scrooge, I think it's just a different outlook of seeing Scrooge than the Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol kind of shows the emotions that Scrooge goes through, but this one it shows how like the other characters and as well as how evil Scrooge is. It's a bit like it is a bit like a toss over between the like a pantomime version of Scrooge. I talk about pantomimes if you are American and you don't understand pantomimes. I will talk about it as well, just to get you in the loop of the UK and the difference between UK and Broadway, which is fun. I think I'd like to kind of talk about that and get you guys on our sides as well and see what we can do. But anyway, Scrooge is really good. Scrooge is good, but it does have some bit of dramatized, like it does have a bit of drama, which is why it's in the least of my Christmas musicals to go and watch. And yeah, I just think that, and the really good things about this musical, by the way, is that the music is really good. It's got the songs such as Christmas Presents, which is sung by Bob Marley, and not Bob Marley, Bob Cratchit, and his two kids. And it's just, I think it's just a really good musical. think it's a really good song, and loads of people know it. Christmas presents shine in the Christmas windows. I'll try and do some bit of singing for you guys there. Christmas, who gives a damn? Anyway, so, and then obviously the next, and obviously as well, the pyrotechnics, the stage designs, the set designs, so elaborate that it's just super stunning, and really good. So that's just one of my second to last. And as well, I think I remember talking about like Bob Marley and how he enters, and basically because it's not on tour, there's no I can do spoilers, so that's great. So basically, Bob Marley, who would enter through through to Scrooge's room, and the way that he does it is he unlocks the door, but these locks move by themselves. So they unlock, and then the door opens. Scrooge can't see him. Actually, no, at this point, Scrooge sees him behind the door. Like, then the door automatically shuts itself. Scrooge then tries to open the door. And I think they do a lot of chase, like cat and mouse. But at the end of it, you can't see Bob Marley even behind the door or in the entrance of the door. So you kind of think, where is Bob Marley at this point? And he ends up being under, like behind the door. And because there's a wall in the door, you just don't think, what? Like he ends up closing the door and goes, oh, and everyone's like really scared because it's just the way that it's worked around. So there's some bits that worked really well with with Scrooge, with the way that they did the magic for it, and it's stunning. And the things like the snow, really good. But as I said, it is dramatized. It is the dramatized Christmas film, Christmas story that we all know. So that's why it's kind of like there. It's because the rest of them are quite uppity duppity sort of thing. The next one I'd like to talk about is Slava Snow Show. Now, I know this is not a musical. This is like a Cirque du Soleil production. And yet again, it's like a Cirque du Soleil, it's like a circus production. And I think it's just good to talk about this. And it's a really good musical. It's a really good show. It's a really good show. And the show is absolutely one of my favorite shows. It's about a guy called Slava, who is basically a clown who ends up you end up going through this journey to the North Pole, and it's stunning as anything. And you, as the audience, you're there, like with all this stuff thrown at you. You've got air, you've got webs, you've got balls, you've got everything thrown at you like 24/7 and all the time, and you're just there with this like guy who's completely just all over the shop. And and it's a really good family show. So if you want to watch something family and Slava Snow Show ends up being there, then that is where you got to go. That's what you got to do, is go and watch that show. And it's a great family experience. If you're not a fan of musicals or pantomimes in the UK, Slava Snow Show is the one to watch out for if it goes out on tour, because it's a great family. It's great for the kids. The kids are just going to absolutely love it from beginning to end. It's funny. It's sometimes a little bit of emotional because it is done physically more than you don't know what they're actually saying. But that's a really good acting technique to kind of have. Then the second to best is Elf. Now we could all get onto this subject. Elf, the musical, is an amazing musical. The songs stunning, script stunning. But when we found out that it was coming down to the UK, the translation between going from Broadway to the UK is actually a little bit difficult. Shrek did the same, but we all knew that if Shrek was going to come down, then things would have to change over, or set design might change over, or the set might stay the same. So when we knew that Elf was going to come down from Broadway, it was like, okay, is this going to be like a difficult production? Is it going to be a set production? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be the same? Sometimes it actually can be disappointing, actually, that going from Broadway and actually people watching the trailer for a big Broadway production can be quite, and then watching it down in the UK and it being changed can be quite disheartening. But it's also quite exciting and surprising at the same time, because it gives you new edges and new places to go. And Elf was one of those. Elf was one of those musicals, and in the UK we probably did it better than Broadway. Just saying. I've seen a couple of clips from Broadway, and I was a bit surprised that some of the bits that we were able to do in the UK weren't done in the US. So, and that's a bitter pill to take, because we did it really well. Like, the musical's done. It was all based on the 1980s. The costumes are stunning. I might go a bit closer. You might be able to see my face. Anyway, sorry about lighting. If you are here part of this live, I am extremely sorry about the lighting. I will try and sort that out. And I know that it's been an issue. Whenever I'm on a Zoom call, it literally is lighting, and there's no other way forward. Sorry. But anyway, and it makes me look a bit spooky. Ooh. But anyway, Elf the musical it's just a great musical. That's my BBC going off, and I think it's about coronavirus, and I don't like talking about coronavirus sometimes. But anyway, and I will have to during this Christmas one anyway, because there's a couple of bits I do want to pinpoint out as well because of Christmas. So anyway, Elf, really good. And the reason why it's really good, because I know that there's an online production of it. There's not an online production, but we in the UK have done a televised version of it, and there is clips and the musical online. So to be honest, it's not a spoiler when I can say this. But the best thing about the musical is the very end. One of the best things about this musical live show is that the very ending. If you don't know Elf is about a human called Buddy who works for Santa, thinks of himself as an elf, which is why it's called Elf. He ends up going down to the New York City, tries to find his dad. But obviously, when he was younger, he got trapped in the Santa sack, got sent to the North Pole, and that's when he was little. And then obviously Santa sent him to go back and see his dad, where his dad is. And it's a really nice musical, really good, really emotional, really good. But only good if it's done well. This is one of those musicals that you have to kind of get that Christmas magic out to the audience and try and do the best as you can to do that. And my mum's theatre company, she did Elf Junior, and we tried to do some bits that we weren't sure on, but it worked. And it made it look really Christmassy, really magical, and we did our job. We did the best job ever. However, but the really good thing about the very ending, and I know that this could be seen, is that Santa flies into the audience at the very end. And if you want to watch this, and if you want to watch the show, then kind of skip this part. But Santa flies out into the audience. And it's the most Christmassy feeling you could ever get in this in a show. Santa flies out into the audience and snow is going all over you, and the band is playing like the music 10 times louder, and it sounds amazing. It's like the best festive Christmas musical live production I've ever seen. And I took my missus to watch it, and her jaw dropped, and I was like, "This is definitely the musical I love." And I watched it 2 times. It's so good. It made me got that spine tingles. I think I watched it about 3 times actually. I watched it in 2 different sections, but yeah, amazing musical. Set stunning. The directing, the musicality, everything like that is stunning. And my top one, and a lot of you people might be a little bit surprised by this, but I'm not, is Nativity the Musical. Now, Nativity the Musical live production is the best live production I've seen. Now, obviously, you just heard that obviously Santa flies out into the audience. There is a couple of shows that do have that snow effect, but Nativity has something really good. And that is, and obviously, it's not a nativity like the Bible story. It's the UK nativity. It's the school. It's a school making the nativity, and they think that they're making. And actually, um, so the story goes like this. The story ends. So it's set in England. It's set in Coventry in London. And this school in Coventry, this teacher has this friend. He has these friends when he was younger, and he was part of the performing arts academies. And him and himself and a couple of his friends become teachers. And one of his friends, Mr. Shakespeare, becomes a teacher, and they both work at a rivalry school. So, and obviously for that he says, like, they say things like, "For those who can't act, go to teach and teach primary, whatever that it is," and whoever can't act have to end up teaching. Whatever that was about, and yet then he goes into, as I said, he goes into teaching, and the head miss is their annual Christmas nativity, and they haven't done a really good annual Christmas nativity. So he steps up again. The guy that he steps up to becoming directing of this nativity for the show, and they had bad reviews from from a critic who is quite camp. He was played by Alan Carr in the movie, and yet they have rivalry as well. With this school has a rivalry, as I said, with the other friend of his, who's also a teacher and who also directs their nativity, called Mr. Shakespeare. Now, the teacher ends up saying to Mr. Shakespeare, just to make him a little bit jealous, that the school's nativity is going to be recorded and performed and into a book, into a play, from Hollywood, and Hollywood's going to come down to watch the school's nativity. So obviously, the whole entire school and the other rivalry school are really the school's really excited, but the other one's really jealous. And everyone talks about this nativity and all the kids and everything else, and the parents are questioning it. And as well, the biggest character, Mr. Poppy, who is an autistic sort of special needs teaching assistant who has all these ideas and all these cool ideas to make songs, and does this whole like sort of Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent sort of buzzing around and talking things. It's a great film and a great musical. I love it. It's written by Debbie Isaac, who is um, who is a mum to a child that is in musical theatre or into acting, performing arts, and yeah, it's just an absolute true story about English schools, and really has a heart in that, and does a really good part in a heart in that. So, and whilst it's a live show um, of a film, that can be hard to translate. But the musical, the live show, didn't have hard to translate. It's so good. Like some of the parts, like the very ending. I know this is going to go on tour many times, but if you watch, you need to watch Nativity. It's just a great musical. It's a great live show. The new songs they've written for the musical are so good too. Like it's weird when you see that they're going to rewrite a musical on this film. You kind of think, but the film's really got good music. How are they going to do this? Um, but they top it. They top all the music, like the music that they do live and everything. The to make the scenes up is really good, and the set design for this show is stunning. And there's no difference between and actually they they made the show like live in front of you, so it was just really clever how they did things like the moon, the star, the girl that plays the star, how she sat on the thing and she's still moving across like it was in the movie, and how like all the stuff that goes on around you is like it's actually the movie. And it's stunning that they can do that and translate that, as well as make a new musical and do more exciting stuff before it happens anyway. They changed a bit of the story, they changed up a little bit, but they end up getting people's phones out. So if you watch this review and you're watching the show, I'm going to tell you now, they're going to tell you to get your phones out and turn your torches on. And once you do that, turn around. It's magical. It's really good, and I love this show. And I've seen it twice. So Simon Lipkin playing Mr. Poppy, and I've then seen it again with I've got the other guy, and it's just a stunning musical. As I said, I used to be a TA. I am also got autism, and I can relate to Mr. Poppy, and also I can relate to also I see other characters that I can relate with all my other friends and family, and it's just an amazing musical, amazing British musical as well, and that's my list. So best one, Nativity. Least would probably be White Christmas because I don't remember it. So that's this sort of part covered. Anyway, next part, pantomimes. I'm going to talk about pantomimes because Christmas is like the year of pantomimes. It's like 100% the most fantastic year for pantomimes. So pantomimes is in the UK the most go-to thing for musical theatre. I don't think you see my eyes. Anyway, doesn't matter. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. Sorry about this, but you might get a little bit of a shock. There we go.
Get great value festive groceries delivered.
Sorry, this is on YouTube. Anyway, oh, look at that, and it's 10 times more better. Anyway, so the next part I'm going to talk about. Sorry if the lighting was a little bit bad, but this might be a little bit better. Might be, might not. But I'm going to talk about pantomimes. In the UK, we have a thing called pantomimes. And what pantomimes is that it's a mixture. It's a play taken from a fairy tale, and that fairy tale gets translated onto stage in a sort of a Disney-esque version, over the top Disney version, but with instead of like new songs, they have pop songs, and they change some of the lyrics to make it seem fitting with the production or with the fairy tale. I remember one year we had the Greatest Show when the Greatest Showman came out. Loads of the pantomime started taking songs from the Greatest Showman, which was really good. And they do the same for all like pop songs and all pop artists. They take like odd little bits from each individual show, each individual artist. It's really good. So, and as well, not just only that, they have a comedian who will do a stick. If you watch Cinderella, they'll have a character called Buttons, who is like your kind of who's your kind of who's your kind of comedy character, and obviously he falls in love with this comedy character. Always has to fall in love with someone, and also as well they also interact with the audience. So whenever they come on stage, you've got to say hello, blah blah. You've got to say their character names, obviously, but you say their characters, and they will do like a little skit, and they will do come back on again, come back off. It is a festive thing, and it's festive all the way through. And as well, they also get you to do like it's behind you, so they'll have like a ghost, they'll have like other things going on as well to not fit in with the fairy tale, but to fit in, but to also give you some bit of comedy and a bit of light as well. Is what we all need right now, anyway. And as well as that, in the pantomimes that big pantomimes in the UK, they always have like big well-known names. So they'll have like people like I don't know, they'll have Gokwan, they have Gokwan, they have Julian Cleary, they might have CBBS or CBBC presenters, or they'll have like really well-known English performers, really well-known celebrities. So they do excel really well on these pantomimes every year. Every theatre takes a lot of money from these pantomimes, and they're fun. And sometimes actually as well, when merchandising as well, if you're from America and you want to go down to the UK and you want to experience the first pantomime, and you have a child, those the merchandise selling all those like little lighty ones and little light things or lightsabers, they're really cool as well. Always go and get them as well as a program, and go and sit down and enjoy pantomime. It is fun, and it is very festive, and it's a festive thing that happens throughout the UK. And different places in the UK do different shows. So they'll do probably in I don't know, Cardiff. They'll probably do that Cinderella. In Southampton, they might do the Three Bears, Godlocks and the Three Bears. I mean, and like Aladdin down here, they'll do other different shows. At the very stage of the moment, we have Robinson Crusoe, which I can't wait to watch on the 29th. So I'm so excited about that. And which is the first show I've ever seen this year because of coronavirus, sadly. And as well, like BBC, not BBC. Why am I talking about BBC? But anyway, London at this very stage of the moment is on a tier 3 lockdown. And so what I can say right now is that actually a lot of there's a lot of people, What's on Stage is doing lots of this coverage anyway. But a lot of pantomimes are going online, which is really, really good for which is really good, I think. It's just stunning to see that actually they're going to do a live, they're going to do recordings of pantomimes and put them online, which is just stunning, I think. Really good. And I think it's Royal Shakespeare Company. Doing it. So yeah, just congrats to them. Well done. And also, but if you are missing a bit of pantomime, and you're in London, one of the most pantomime-ish ones would be Peter Pan Goes Wrong. Can't go wrong with that one. It's just a really good, clever live, sort of not live production, and they do try to make you think that it's not a pantomime, but it kind of is. But yeah, those are the sort of that's the sort of live things I've seen on stage, and really festive. I'll talk about some festive musical movies now. And I've got 3 written down because there's the only 3 I thought of. One of them is Jingle Jangle, Netflix. Definitely on top of the list. Jingle Jangle, Netflix. I did do a review on my Instagram, so if you want to go and see that, please do. So I don't need to talk about that. However, Nativity, yet again, Nativity, great movie, but they had other movies than afterwards. Favorite one is the last one, which is called Nativity Rocks, and there's a reason why, because they do a different change of story, different change of characters, and I think it's refreshing and really good. And I think Debbie Isaac did a really good job on that. And it's about a kid that has his dad get separated from his dad, but then the kid ends up in Coventry, and yet then things start to happen. He starts to try and find a new family and everything else, whilst he is still connected with his dad through music. So it's a really emotional story, and I think it's one of the best ones I've seen from the nativity side anyway. And in all nativity style, they had the same school that's in Coventry, but there's another change as well. Mr. Poppy's brother gets involved. I think it's Esmond Poppy, and yet he gets into all this controversy and this whole fun and everything else. And I think it's just a great film to watch, and it's very emotional. But one of the things I was really surprised about, and this is one of the best things, is Ramin Kalamimo. If you don't know, he's really well known in Broadway and stage shows and stuff. He was like the main character in Les Mis from Broadway. He was also in not the most recent recording of Les Mis, I won't say, but a previous recording of Les Mis. He was the Enjolras. Really good. He was really good as Enjolras, and he also played the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera live, and his voice is so stunning. But he ends up playing the dad that they get separated from. And as well, you also have other characters like I've got his name now. I just said it in the recent one, but yeah, it's really good movie. I think definitely go and watch. And one to say as well is The Nightmare Before Christmas. The reason why I think this is a good musical is because I think it should go on live on stage. One thing, it should go on live on stage. I've seen a YouTube clip of another production, and they did so good on it. I think it's easy to do it. Nightmare Before Christmas, by the way, is a good musical, and I think it sits between Halloween and Christmas so well. And it's one of those. It's a film where I don't think kids should watch until once they're older, because then it's more fun to watch it that way. But yeah, that's kind of what I can say about that one. But I think Danny Elfman did a really good job on the music. If you like to listen to another, if you'd like to go to my Instagram account, I did say all the same things, but maybe a little bit more. But my Instagram account is Let's Talk Musicals. And yeah, that's just it really. And as well, I might do more reviews onto this channel, because I prefer doing something a little bit like on the same channel where I've got people already who have subscribed to me, just for other reasons. But as they know that I like musicals, and yeah, it's just a way just to put this on there. And I think it does stop with the editing. So thank you for watching this live stream, or this video. If you are interested, please, if you are interested in Let's Talk Musicals, as I said again, please go to my Instagram. I do have I am Spotify with some of my musicals that I did review on, but I prefer kind of doing it live, not live and anything else. But thank you, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.